Hi guys, Markus here. Today we're gonna try a mod that someone was asking for in my last new 3DS XL video. The idea was to hide an Apple AirTag in the device to save your precious console when it's stolen or lost. The problem is, the AirTag is of course a compact device, but it is still too clunky just to get it in the new 3DS XL in its origin form. That's the reason why we need to open up our little rounded friend, and the question is, can we mod it? We will see. First we turn the shiny plate counterwise to get to the battery compartment. From here we need to find a way to get into this little thingy. I mark up the spots where the hidden tabs are located to hopefully open the AirTag without any harm. At first I tried it with a curved disassemble sheet, but this was not working out. It was just too flimsy. These are normally used to disassemble curved screens, so I needed a more heavy duty tool. A box cutter. That is not the safest way to do this, but it has the needed rigidity to get this job done. So when you're doing this, please use some heavy duty gloves to minimize any risk of damage to your hands. I'm setting a bad example here, sorry. After some prying with the cutter, we were able to lift the cover away. The next stop is the speaker. Here you can see the coil of the speaker. The speaker itself sits glued down inside the cover. Sometimes the AirTags are beeping when they are not always with you and someone moved them. I believe this is a safety feature for some anti-stalking tactics and I'm totally fine with it. Let's in this mod get rid of it, we don't have the space anyway. Now we are getting to the part where much went wrong. I needed a way to remove the mainboard of the AirTag from the shell. The method I've chosen was prying. Unfortunately, I was not aware of the fact that antenna goes around the inner greyish plastic circle, so I was not careful enough and damaged those antennas. They are just some kind of coating. The AirTag worked fine during a small test, but suddenly was not working anymore, and I gave up on it, because you are unable to reach the bottom side of the mainboard to check the components. To get there we would need to destroy the mentioned dark plastic, and with it, the antennas completely. Bummer. That was the point where I just ordered a new AirTag, and after its arrival I tried it again. So the good thing is that I now can show you this plate again with the tabs, and we can try to mark them and see exactly where we need to put them. I think that's good. So as you can see, the tab is exactly where the indentation is, so we put there a dot. Okay, same story here, where the slot is starting. Yeah, and bottom side, same story, where the slot is. So let's do the method we have already done. Let's take some kind of more stable knife. Okay, so that was the point we have been before. So let's try if it's still possible to connect to it. For this we need to put some tape that we won't short anything in the board and ruin the second AirTag. So let's ground here. So let's try to mask out. Yeah, let's put it here just to be safe. Same story with this side here. So like this. Yeah, let's check on it. Yeah, and you see the message is popping up. So okay, until yet the AirTag is fine. So now again to the removal part. I think this time I will just go for hot air. More heat, more heat. Let's go with 230 C. Yeah, now it's softening. Good. Yeah, I think that will take some time. I'm just doing this all around. Plastic bubbling. I think that's a good sign. And yeah, have a look. When you're doing this with a tip or with the dental picks or something sharp, just remember that here are the antennas, so you don't want to scratch them away like me in the first approach. Okay, now it's just the coil. Okay, and I ripped the coil. I don't think that we need this coil anymore. that looks much better. You know, when you just compare it to my version. Yeah, I was just trying to fix it with some solder, but yeah, that's completely another story. Have a look here. Yeah, that looks very good. Okay, let me short remove this portion of the speaker. Get the glue out here. Let's try again if it's working. Let me get all the tape again. Okay, fingers crossed. Add item. Add AirTag. Point cell. Oh, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't want to wreck another one.
I'm never nervous.
So, one last check. Okay, I think it's fine, and let's hope for the best. Come on. Yeah, I think the contact here wasn't free. Hopefully. Let's try again. Yes! Oh man, for a second I was just thinking I just destroyed it again. Man, what a relief. Okay, you're perfect. In the meantime, I just soldered a coin cell holder to this point and bridged it with another jumper cable here, because both points are not connected by itself, but they both need power. Yeah, when you look at the initial area where the normal battery sits, you can see here those two contacts, or the holes for the contacts. So those both needs power, otherwise it won't work. So yeah, let's try if my iPhone is able to detect this. Boom. New AirTag. So we could connect to it. Let's do it. Why not? Let's say it's... what will we call it? Let's call Zefty from Theft. Why ever I would do this, I have no idea. So let's give it a joystick for console, why not? So, it's working good. Let's see if we can mount it anywhere in the 3DS, and let's check where we can get some power. So to save some time, I have already disassembled the unit. So you may be wondering why I have got another connector in here. We just used the back connector in the last video. This back connector gave me some connectivity issues after some days. I bought in the meantime some breakout boards from China, and one of them was this here. Let me show you. So they're like this. So unfortunately here are just two contacts. So this is positive and ground. But there are no other breakouts. I can't connect the data lines with something else that would be needed for the power delivery chargers. So they could also charge this console. Just put it in more of curiosity in here and just to check it out and have a fast fix. But even this, if you are okay with it, that is not an issue and you don't need the power delivery ability, that would be perfectly fine. Good thing here is you already have some a nice finish, so to say. But yeah, for the upcoming video, I'm just planning with the PD support. I'm just thinking about one of these power delivery boards. You can see there are much more pins. This is something I will try out in the future. Before doing anything else, let's first desolder those wires from here. Then it's a little bit easier for full placement. So this is our bare AirTag. Everything is intact this time, and we soldered the jumper wire. So perfect. Now it's time for placement. Yeah, it's harder than I thought it would be. Or to make room, or at least, let's say, room without any visibility from the outside that something is inside. Okay, what we could obviously do, the first option, as you can see from this angle, those contacts here are standing out a bit. So let me just try to cut them back. rid of those, yeah, tabs from the old housing. Yeah, we could also remove the glue, but I don't think that will help with the placement. But yeah, why not? Let's remove it. That's a very hard glue. But I'm harder. Well, not me, but this dental pick. Yeah, let's just let the rest in place, at least for now. Maybe this little thing here. Yeah, okay, good. Unfortunately, I can't find any space where this would fit without destroying the outer shell and something that it would look through. That's not the perfect way, I would say. No. Let's have a look if I can remove, I don't know, maybe the card reader and see what's underneath. Maybe I do have enough space in there. Nope, unfortunately not. There's not much room in this thing left. Makes me crazy.
Are you crazy? Yeah.
So I think the only place where we are able to place it somehow would be here. There's something around in this area here. And as you can see, it's still too thick. I mean, yeah, the bottom part would fit, but here we have the slight curvedness. So I'm not sure if, first of all, I will remove this little foam pad here. Yeah, maybe this could also be in the way. So what I'm trying to do is to remove those little outstanding plastic pieces, just to get some room. Snap. Snap. Yeah, okay. Those are off without any damage to the outside. So this thing is still in its place. But it is still not working. Just wondering why. I mean, when I just have a look just from the profile, it's the same height. I would say it's the same height as our USB reader. The USB reader rests here. And when I have a look, I would say this is the same depth as the... Let me check. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more recessed. Oh, it is. Oh, but that's just very slightly. So here, where do we got a problem? Okay, so this thing here goes to here, so that's not an issue. So it's just this room over here. So we do have this cable. Is that in the way? God. You know what? Let me try to fit it where it needs to go. Like here. Okay. Oh, it was really just the connector. Oh, brilliant. Nice. This is a very good placement. I mean, yeah, I think there is no really good placement because we do have antennas here. Okay, all ships could be influenced by all these antennas from our AirTag, but yeah, I don't think that we could change that. I was first thinking about 3D printing some kind of holder, but yeah, there is no room for this. So that would have been much easier for guys or for you guys to redo the mod. But if you look here, I mean, yeah, there is no room for some mounting plates or something. It's just fitting perfectly in this place. So the next thing would be, we do need power. So let me connect the battery and let me see if we do get some 3 volts out of the board as standby voltage. Will it be enough just to lay it flat against it? Let me get my multimeter. Let's check if we do have voltage here. Nope. No, that's not getting a good connection. Okay, when I'm holding it against... Well, that's very hard to manage. Yeah, we do have the 4 volts. What a pity. You know what? We do not use the battery. I will just solder 2 wires here, and I will power it with my lab power supply. Here we have the power from the lab power supply. Yeah, 4 volts, perfect. So now let's probe around and seek a connection. Okay guys, in the meantime, I haven't found any 3.3 volt regulator or something. I just found the bare voltage that's coming from the battery. So that's in the worst case, something around 4 volts, maybe even higher. I will check for that. I measured during the charging process and we have, of course, 4.2 volts or something. And I don't want to fry this here, so I'm not good with the idea that it's varying this much. And I don't think that 4.2 volts or even more is a good idea for this without some regulation in between. So, and the whole standby voltage of a 3DS is 1.8 volt. So yeah, and that's much too low for our AirTag to work properly. We do need some kind of voltage regulator.
What is exactly a voltage regulator? A voltage regulator is a device that maintains a constant voltage level by adjusting the amount of power delivered to a circuit. It helps ensure that the voltage stays within a specific range, protecting electronic devices from power surges or drops. For a device which operates with a battery, it is obviously important that the used voltage regulator is an efficient one. For this we should use a LDO voltage regulator. Yeah, but what does that mean? LDO in a voltage regulator means it can maintain stable output voltage with minimal voltage drop between input and output, allowing it to function even with slight input voltage difference. Why is it better for battery-powered devices? LDO voltage regulators are better for battery use because of their low quiescent current, lower voltage drop and efficiency, which helps to conserve battery power and extend battery life.
So this is our mentioned voltage regulator that I have laying around. You can see the specs if you're curious. And this is the package, the SOT23. So when you have a look here, you see the black thing. It's one in the middle to the upside and 2 facing downside. So this one here. Here you can see which is which. So VIN is the upper thing here. Ground is the down left and V out is this side here. This datasheet says input operating voltage. It's from 2.3 volt up to 6 volt. So that's perfect. So that means we have the 3.7 volt battery, this one here. And when it's completely charged, yeah, it's around 4.2 volts at peak, I would say. So we are perfectly here in range. So the output voltage range is from 1.2 to 5 volts. So let's see what it's doing when we put it to 4 volts from my lab power supply and see what it will give us in the output side. So theoretically we should have something here. But first let me demonstrate you that we have the desired 4 volts. So why it was
ground. So let's put it here. And let's see here, and you see 3.994 volts, so 4 volts, that's okay. Now let's see, do we have something here? We got our desired 3.3 volts. Not sure why we see here something around 3.3 volt. I found out that I got the version with 3.0 volt. In a 100% correct setup, the datasheet stated we would need some capacitors at the input and output pins. I will now go down to 3 volts. And then we do got a voltage drop. The battery is at the lowest point, I would say 3.7, shouldn't go deeper. So then we do have 3 volts left at our control end. Yeah, that's perfectly fine for the AirTag. Nice. So now we do need one of these connected to our AirTag and then just wire it up and then we are good to go. Let's do that. So let's get out a fresh tiny voltage regulator. They are really tiny. I mean, have a look here. This is a cut and swap. See the size comparison here? Here you can see the test point of the PCB where the bare battery voltage is. Unfortunately crashed my microscope during the soldering and the recording was unusable. So I'm just able to show you parts of the job. Sorry. So let's try to get some solder at this point and here again to solder a ground wire. So let's use this 0.15 millimeter wire. To grind this wire, let's use the grinding pan. I find this method much better than the X-Acto Knife. But yeah, feel free to use just a knife. Hopefully it's enough. It's come with a cotton swipe with IPA on. Yeah, that was good. Same story here. Yeah, that's enough. Let's quickly get rid of those little pieces. Some flux, a good portion of it. And we do have the connection. Let's cut the excess. Let me clean up the flux mass. I'm not happy with this little thing, but yeah, that's not a problem. When it will work, we will just cover the whole area with solder mask. Yeah, I think we can give it a try. So let's enter the battery and see what we will get of the output of the voltage regulator. So I'm just holding it against the contacts. Voltage mode. Putting it to ground. I'll use this cartridge as my main ground. So let's first check the main voltage here. So that should be the battery voltage, 4.1 volts. Nice. So good. Now to the output of the voltage regulator. 2.7 volts. So that's a bit low, so it should be 3 volts. So I'm not completely sure why this happens. I mean, I think it's will work with this voltage, but the question is, what will happen when the battery drops down to 3.7 volts? Do we get something similar to 2.7 volts? I mean, in the schematic of the little thing here, there are some more capacitors that you would put between those points, maybe to stabilize the whole thing here. I'm not sure, but to keep it more simple, I think I will just go with this approach here. So let's see what it's giving us when I won't put 4.1 volts, when I just, I don't know, 3.7 volts. So for this I need to solder back some wires. So, and it's enough just to solder the positive wire because we have a common ground. So now here we can inject the voltage I was talking about. I will use my live power supply for this, and I will put it to 3.7 volts. Perfect. And I will just try to get this probe back in here. Use this here, that's the live power supply. Try to clamp it here. Yeah, good. And to prove that it's 3.7 volts here. Perfect. So let's connect this here. So we should see at the input now the desired, yeah, 3.7 volt. And let's see what the output is. 2.667. Yeah, it's not much of a drop, to be honest, but I'm not sure if it's enough to power our AirTag. Okay, so we have 3.668 volts. Let me shortly go up to 4 volts. That should be pretty full battery. Yeah, 4 volts here, and the output 2.7. So it's not much of a difference. So that's good, so it means it's stable at least. So now the question is this high enough? So with this being said, let's try to get the AirTag to this power supply here and see if it would work. What do you think? Let's do that. And let's connect it with it here. For the ease of the coming around, let me put some solar disconnector here. But we will redo this in another follow-up video, so stay tuned for that. Not pretty, but it's working, I hope. So let's check. Here is our desired voltage regulator. That's going up to our little friend here. That looks all fine. And the negative from the AirTag goes to the main ground from the console. So this is pretty much all it should take to power on. Let's see. I just put the AirTag here, so nothing is shorting out. The cables are still connected, but I turned off the lab power supply. And I now will try to find it. There's obviously no connection right now because it's not connected. So let's try what's happening when we turn on the power supply. Hopefully nothing explodes. Okay, nothing explodes. That's good. Yeah, have a look. Nice. When I go a little bit further away, you see 0.1. When I go nearer, bam, perfect. Yeah, great. Okay, so that's proven that this works. So this was 4 volts. Let's put the power supply to the previous set, or let's say 3.65. Let's go safe, why not? Oh no, let's completely go safe with, I don't know, let's say 3.5 volt. Yeah, let's check that. So same story. Turning on. Yeah, that's working. And to prove that I'm not lying, when we measure here, you see 3.49 volts. Nice. Yeah, good. So the only thing left is now to remove the cable. Let me do that quick. And we of course need to neaten up this section here. But I think the cables are not long enough, so yeah. I think I need to redo this cable here. I'm very relieved that this worked out so far. But I'm also a bit sad that we do need the voltage regulator, so it's easier for you guys to replicate this. But maybe someone of you got a good idea to get around this problem. I was pretty happy to hear about this. Okay, now let's protect the circuit. Okay, it's hard for me to clean all the rest of the flux. Let's put all around solder mask. Solder mask will protect our circuit, so we can harden it out with, or we can cure it with UV. I will show you in a moment. So I think that's a very good channel for the cable, as you can see. We do have here a slot, and it's perfectly in the slot. Good. So yeah, let's just put all over the solder mask. I will do this with my little brush. You can do it with, I don't know, maybe a tweezer tip or something. Yeah, when you're using a brush, you should definitely clean the brush with IPA or something. Then I grab my UV lamp. This will shut off after 20 seconds. think we have to do multiple passes, so let's do that. First pass of the UV curing. Yeah, just see, it is hardened, but not completely. So let's give it a short burst with hot air. Maybe it's enough, let's see. And yeah, that's fine. You can see it's hardened. Let's first see how about the placement. So I think it was something like this here. So this means, yeah, I can definitely shorten this. The other good thing is I can connect round with the card reader. I think that would be the easiest way. If I go around the minus something around here. Maybe the card reader isn't the smartest approach, because we do have some plastic walls here, so this will cut it more or less. So now that's not a good idea, so I need to find another ground. We can take, you know what, why not? Let's really just use the USB-C connector for ground. But first, let me shorten this lead here. Shortly tin the wire. Minus, yeah, let's put it there. Silicon cables do help with, yeah, a more better way to route those cables, because they are very flexible. I just can recommend them. But yeah, what we will do is putting Kapton tape here, just to isolate the area. We'll use this here. Yeah, that's something around this here. So yeah, contacts are being covered, and I hope those ships are not getting too hot. I think we will see that. Just like check our wires. So this looks good. Okay, that's connected, and yeah, the rest seems to be fine. Okay, so let's again try. When I take my phone, and now when I just hold the battery in, we should see this thing getting a signal. Oh, let's try. Yes, brilliant. Nice. How good is that? Have a look. Yeah, that works. Okay. Now the final issue, the placement. Yeah, and it was very smart to cover this section above here, where I do need to put the ribbon cable. I know what. Let's redo the whole Kapton thing. So how about this here? Yeah, I think that should be enough. Okay. Trying to fix it in place, and then let's see if we can get the whole thing on. Okay, here you got it. An AirTag inside a 3DS. Whew! How interesting. What an interesting project. Thank you very much for this idea. Okay, so let's try to fit it. So I just connect this cable here. Left side I leave disconnected, and I just try to fit it. Yes, have a look. Oh, let's see. Battery. Waiting. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Next step was getting solar mask on the voltage regulator to protect it. During the tinkering in the first place, I just ripped a small piece of a capacitor attached to the battery power line. I tried to figure out its initial value, but I was not able to determine it. It's giving me, with the damage, something around 13 microfarad. I would assume its purpose is to smoothen the voltage. I think it's still working, but I would like to replace it in the future. If anybody knows the value, please drop me a line in the comments. Thank you. Time to reassemble our little beauty and check if it's still turning on.
So I tried to turn it on and it wasn't working. So I troubleshooted for, I would say, half an hour or something. And the issue was that the ribbon cable connector from the left side where the battery was connected. And yeah, the ribbon cable, I have no idea. Maybe I was just disconnecting it and connecting it again. And during this approach, I just crossed
2 pins. So one pin was shorting out the other end. That was just why the company is not booting up. Yeah, sometimes this happens. So, but now I fixed it. I just bent it back with a sharp tweezer and it works. Let's turn it on. Blue light. Et voila. It's working. So let's check what's happening when we remove it. As you can see. Yeah, it's working. Okay, now it's a bit flickering around, but yeah. How great is that? I love it. And I just renamed it from Zefty to, yeah, a more appropriate name, New 3DS XL. I think it was a very fun project. Thank you very much for this idea, and see you soon, hopefully. No, it's not over yet. Summary time. Thank you very much for watching that far. I hope you enjoyed the project the same as I did. I love the idea that this mod used the internal battery of the 3DS and there's no need for changing some coin slot battery. It is just amazing to have a portable handheld that I'm literally able to track down if I just lost it or someone just tried to steal it. Thank you very much that we just hit the 1000 subscriber landmark. That is just incredible. And I'm just blown away by your support, guys. If you like seeing me failing or sometimes succeeding, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. This will help me a lot with growing this channel. Have a heart for broken devices and give them a second chance. Hope to see you soon, stay healthy, and until next time.